Welcome to Rising Stars, where Miriam Knight, publisher of New Consciousness Review, interviews exciting new voices in the world of progressive and transformational books, films, and ideas, who offer intriguing perspectives on life, the universe, and everything in between. Join us as we celebrate the conscious awakening and explore many expressions of consciousness in action.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Miriam Knight, and I have an exciting guest today. Her name is Cynthia Slon. Cynthia is a writer, speaker, telepathic intermediary, medium, trance-channel, and point-of-light teacher. More about that shortly. Now, much of Cynthia's work has evolved through the study on the inner planes with her guides and masters. They started communicating with her at the age of 5. Cynthia's abilities include aura viewing and reconstruction, past-life regression, psychometry, trance-channeling, energetic sound healing, etheric realignments, and telepathic communication with all life forms and dimensions. Her workshops are in great demand, and her clients come from all over the world, including such well-known figures as Shirley MacLaine, Dennis Kucinich, Sharon Osbourne, Jerry Hall, and many others. She has recently developed a new level of insight and healing that she calls Point of Light. And this is described in her new book of that name, Point of Light. I am most delighted to welcome her. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, Miriam. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my goodness, my dear. I have been watching you over the years as you've developed each succeeding level of expertise and abilities. And this one is potentially the most exciting yet. So tell us a bit about Point of Light. What does it mean?
Thank you. Point of Light is a healing frequency that exists within the network of light within the human body, actually within the form of all dimensions. The point of light is literally what I visually saw upon working with a client. I looked at the cells, and all of a sudden, each individual cell had a illuminated, strong light in the center of it. And therein comes point of light. That point of light is a frequency. It is different than other healing modalities and techniques in that it houses within its own consciousness the balance and healing and alignment to the perfection of all forms. And so Point of Light came forth in working with clients. I didn't necessarily seek out to offer healing to clients as far as a physical hands-on, as I have been a telepathic intermediary and offered readings, insight, visualizations, communication with loved ones on the other side for as long as I can remember. But this came about in an even stronger capacity in that I recognized that when I saw that point of light within a cell and mirrored within all cells, I was able to communicate that this point of light in the center of the cell has a voice and is communicating with all the other cells in the body as well as the human form or the human consciousness. And so that is where Point of Light came from.
I would like to step back for a moment because you have been developing your abilities to, I don't know, for want of a better word, see the workings of the cosmos and actually, travel in your consciousness and connect with the greater consciousness. So the ability to refine that into the level of an individual cell must have been quite a surprise to you.
It was a surprise, but it was also a very familiar knowing. So it was not only a surprise, but it took me to a place of comfortability, and of course, why wouldn't the universe be communicating through the cells of a body, nonetheless the cells of all form? And then I started communicating telepathically and with my feeling body with the point of light in the center of the cell, and much to my surprise and immense joy, the consciousness started to inform me about humanity, about parts of myself, how things came to be within, I'll use myself as an example, the point of light. For once, I recognized the point of light in another. After I was done and completed and went home, I started to communicate and see my own point of light and communicate with the parts of me. I started to see spirit guides, loved ones on the other side, sacred geometry, the movement of light, pulse, and sound, moving not only through humanity but through the entire room at 5 years old, and recognized, because I tuned into it, meaning I was interested enough to communicate with it on an internal level, that I received a response. And in that response began a lifelong relationship with all of matter. And so it was not a huge leap, nonetheless a surprise, that the cells were also communicating and have a voice as much as the surroundings in my environment and onward. So my entire life from 5 years old on, I'm 49 now, has been a relationship of communication with all of matter, whether it is a chair, whether it is the animal kingdom, whether it is a room, Mother Nature, the Sky Nation, and now Point of Light stepped forth in a way that I recognized, because what caught my attention visually was the strong point of the strong light that comes to a point, if you will, in the center of the cell. That caught my attention, and as always, I communicated telepathically with it, kind of like, well, you are absolutely gorgeous. What are you? And then I received a response. And basically, the dialogue began from there. And what the cells were communicating more, I'm going to say on a majority, more so than any other message, was that humanity has forgotten that the cells have a voice, and humanity has forgotten to participate in that dialogue. And that there can be transformation, not only for the human person, but for the cells when we go inward and join the conversation. And so, yes, I've had many experiences throughout my life, and this point of light has only taken me full circle to a place of clarity and knowing that if the entire universe is working with a circuitry of light, light is undoubtedly the fastest thing in the universe. It's in a vacuum, if you will, and it moves faster. Let's put it this way. It moves around you would move around the earth 7 times in 1 second if you were aligned to the light frequency. Point of light is outside of time. And so my ability to communicate with point of light and recognize its origin, its ability to tell me about each organ, it's my ability to see where certain cells are diluted or the light is not as strong and communicate with that cell, the point of light within it. So it's a circuitry that has been present at all times, and it has come forth, I think, very timely in a very strong way. And it's created tremendous, right before my eyes, it's created tremendous healing, insights. It's changed the landscape not only of the client, but of their house, the animals in the house, the plants in the house. It's really able to affect space and place, but outside of time. So it's really, I'm going to say miraculous, but it's not miraculous in the sense that it is something new. It's been a part of all that matters and all that exists since the beginning of time. And I am just offering the dialogue that was offered to me, which literally, the point of light was written by me questioning the cells, listening to their response and writing it down.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I find so fascinating about this is that you have actually been able to teach this technique to other people. How have they, do they have to have any particular preparation in order to be able to absorb and use it?
None whatsoever. I have been teaching point of light, and point of light, when individuals come and sit to listen and for me to share, what starts happening at the very beginning of the class is individuals start feeling, I've had many experiences shared with me where they start feeling a sense of relaxation, a sense of peace, a sense of going home, familiarity, and that's just talking about point of light in a class. That isn't even application yet. And so in a class, it's not only sharing where point of light originates from and that it originates from the individual sitting before me, but how to access it and basically how to have the experience of it themselves. Because what's more impactful, and I fully believe in, is me telling somebody this exists, now take my word for it, but don't take my word for it. In actuality, try it out for yourself. Have your own experience with it so that you can move into a state of connectivity with not only who you are, but what you're truly capable of doing. And what I found is that almost all the individuals have spoken on behalf of feeling like they're no longer alone, feeling a support system internally that they never were taught nor believed that they had, feeling heard, feeling found, feeling healed, ecstatically happy. Because point of light is a frequency, remember. It's not a...
Mm-hmm. Well, that is the signal for our station break. We are speaking with Cynthia Slon about Point of Light, her new book and her technique. Stay with us and we'll be right back.
Your conscious lifestyle on steroids. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hi everyone, this is Shay Parker, the host of Best of the Best, which airs live right here on IOM Radio every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm super excited to bring you expert guest hosts, spiritual discussions, free psychic readings, and so much more. I can promise that you will not want to miss this one-of-a-kind, fun, yet touching, down-to-earth show. Join us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on OTR-FM. This is Shay Parker, and I can't wait to see you there.
Mother, Mother Ocean.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Buffett. West Indian manatees are one of the most unique animals on Earth, and we're still finding out so many new things about them. But manatees are endangered, and many of them are killed or injured each year because of watercraft collisions or other human activities. You can help save these gentle marine mammals. For free tips on what you can do, call Save the Manatee Club at 1-800-432-JOIN. Thank you.
Welcome back. I'm Miriam Knight speaking with Cynthia Slon. Cynthia, what is your website if people want to follow up?
Absolutely. CYNTHIASLON, the number 9.com. CynthiaSlon9.com.
Right. And Cynthia's book is available on Amazon as both an ebook and a print-on-demand book, right?
Correct.
Okay. So it's called Point of Light by Cynthia Slon. That's Slon. So, Cynthia, tell me, in listening to you, I'm trying to have an image of this point of light. Is it outside of, you said it's outside of time. Is it outside of us? Is it connected to us? Is it like our higher self? Or is it totally beyond that?
So point of light is a part of a circuitry of not only physical matter, but universal matter. And so if you're looking for a visual, the visual would look like within the human body, within the center of each cell, it would look like a flashlight. And when you get further out from the core of the flashlight, the light expands into kind of a cone of light. And so that's when it moves through. So the cells are able to communicate through the circuitry of light. And then beyond the body, so it moves through the body. The frequency is not limited, encapsulated, or held in the body. It is part of a conscious awareness where there's a balance of all matter. And so where we in our humanity might define that we are sitting in a room and that's our experience for the moment, what I've noticed is the cellular body where point of light exists, the frequency doesn't become limited or defined by the human recognition that they're in the room. It is a circuitry, if you could see it with your third eye. Visually, what I see is that it's a circuitry that moves, your frequency moves beyond the human body into the universal body, and it looks like a matrix of light that is everywhere and it's in movement. So there is a dialogue that's happening all over the place that moves through your body with you and then beyond you into your auric field, your hall of records, your past lives, etc. So there is no separation. And so what you're trying to visually attain, I'm saying to you to go way out beyond just the physical body and visualize that all the cells are communicating not only with you through their point of light. The frequency is in movement. It moves through the cells, out through the body, in and through the aura, out beyond it, and it communicates with the space of the room and out beyond that. It renews the physical and emotional body's feeling and restores that feeling that all is possible for the human being. We were speaking before the break about the classes that I'm teaching about point of light. And I have watched point of light establish consciously the recognition within the mental and emotional body, the empowerment where all of a sudden the individual feels a part of the conversation and the conscious wholeness that exists. So it's not, point of light is not limited to just healing the human body. It is also able to let the human mind know and the feeling body know that the individual is able to not only conceive of, I'm going to give you an example. An individual was really wanting to experience their loved one, actually his father that had passed over. In offering point of light, which is, I'll get into the schematics of that, but the individual was receiving point of light and they were able to then visually and physically see their father approach them. And so all of a sudden the third eye is activated because it's no longer the small view of I am a human in this encapsulated form, but it expands you into truly your access to all dimensions. So point of light, it's like being inspired by a song and then turning up the volume. When I'm teaching a class and I'm offering point of light, I'm not doing anything to you, but I'm saying to you, this is a song, as an example, that really inspires me and accelerates not only hope, but everything about me. And so I'm going to play this song for you that it inspires you, and then you can share it with others and turn up the volume in your own life, for yourself, your loved ones, friends, etc., and even to other parts of the world. And that's what is so amazing about Point of Light, is that first let's start with ourselves, but once you feel connected and it's based in love, and it's that love comes into a universal love, a self-love, parts that individuals were withholding and feeling unworthy of, they're now able to bring home and embrace. Then there's the empowerment and desire to spread that universal love and that frequency. So literally, you are reconnecting with a frequency that at one time you felt or believed that was either not available to you or didn't exist. So
okay, so
go ahead.
Let's just take a pause here because there is just so much information coming at us. Let's go back to your analogy of a song. So would you, as we know, the television signals, radio signals are out there, and it's a question of tuning the receiver in order to actually hear the message, hear the song, hear the music. So could it be reasonable to say that what you teach people in your workshops is how to tune their receivers so that they can perceive Point of Light and then utilize the information that they get from it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And in an expansion of that, they can even turn the channel. So they can turn the channel off of their negativity, of their fears, of the limitations. And when they focus on Point of Light, then that can become what represents them. And I have seen individuals overnight no longer react or feel attached to the negative dialogue that they had co-created their whole lives. And so yes to what you said, and beyond that. So, I mean, really, the sky's the limit, and then beyond that, and not necessarily just through Point of Light, but with what you choose and how you choose to allow the energy of Point of Light, the frequency, which is very loving, by the way. It exists outside of time. It doesn't care who you are, what your title is, what you've done previously. And I'm saying that in a humanistic way as an example. The frequency is not attached to, nor does it try and change the mental body. It bypasses the mental body and goes straight to the core of the chromosome, and it resides in the DNA. And it's able there.
Yeah, I just have another analogy that might help to further clarify this. I mean, we've all heard an orchestra tuning up, and the first tone is usually by the oboe, and then the violins come in, and everybody, at first it sounds like chaos, and then everybody gets onto the same frequency. So in our own lives, life has impinged upon us to create chaos in our energy field through our memories, our experiences, our fears, our traumas. And from what you're saying, I would think of Point of Light as being that pure tone that is reminding the cells how to get back into that original perfect frequency and clear out the cacophony of life. Is that a fair analogy?
It really is a fair analogy, and I think that, you know, it comes back to wanting to share, not just with others, but with ourselves. So you would say to a friend, I wish I could show you when you're lonely or in darkness the astonishing light of your own being. And in one word or another, we have all desire to do that for loved ones and for all aspects of life. And what I've watched with Point of Light is that awakening point where the individual is able to feel and move out of a place of darkness, depression, trauma that has seized them, and they're able to feel free again. And with that freedom comes a tremendous amount of hope and light and a desire to renew their life contract, if you will, but on a conscious level. And so what I've received from individuals that have experienced the love frequency, which I believe point of light is, originating love, or the creation, I'm going to say love of creation, is they feel that when they offer it to another, even when they're speaking to another, it's coming from such an expanded place, much bigger and stronger than before, that the individuals they're talking to, the feedback I've gotten, have said, I don't know what you're talking about, or sometimes they say, I totally get it, but I feel so different. And the reason I'm mentioning that is we're talking about the feeling body. The mental body is present for point of light, but it's the feeling between the soul and the heart that then explains it to the mind. And so usually the mind is trying to work through it and define it. And with point of light, it is the feeling of coming home, returning to the light, so to speak, and then the mind is able to begin to understand.
Mm-hmm. Because the mind can only use the images from its own experience, whereas point of light goes to that primordial origin.
It goes to the originating origin of life that is housed within our cellular construct, which never forgets, nor is swayed, nor deterred, nor transmuted by our human experience. Our human experience is our human experience, but at the level of the cellular soul knowing, that remains in its full knowing and gets added to. I often explain that point of light is like it touches your heart, and every time your heart is touched, you touch the heart of humanity. And every time you touch the heart of another, your own heart heals.
Wow. Well, we're going to get into some of the experiences you've had with it right after this break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Free your mind with OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
Have you wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
There is no death, only a change of worlds. Chief Seattle. Deborah Livingston is an award-winning intuitive psychic medium whose international services include mediumship, spiritual assessment, animal communication, and spiritual mentoring. She is a published author and a trained shaman. Deborah provides evidential messages from spirit and departed loved ones. Learn more at deblivemedium.com. That's DEBLIV medium.com.
Hi, this is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Every 2 minutes, another American is sexually assaulted. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, you are not alone. Help is just a call or click away through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Please call 1-800-656-HOPE, that's HOPE, or visit rain.org. That's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by Rain and this station.
Welcome back. I'm Miriam Knight speaking with Cynthia Slon about Point of Light. Cynthia, can you tell us or describe for us what a Point of Light session looks like, feels like, and some of the outcomes that you've had, that particularly the ones that most surprised you?
Absolutely. So a point of light session consists of an individual laying on a massage table, preferably, and then I invite that individual to call upon point of light in their own name. And so, therefore, it aligns with their soul signature. Not that point of light wouldn't be aware of that, but that the conscious awareness of the individual on the table comes fully present into the moment when that happens. And then I invite the individual to really claim what it is they want out loud. Of course, it's their desire, whatever they please, but out loud to state what it is they want to clear, heal, change, whatever it is. And so they state that out loud. And again, the reason is not for point of light to know what it's doing, but it's for the individual to be fully present in their conscious awareness of what it is they are getting out of the way of, what it is they are releasing and no longer holding on to. And then I stand about a foot away from the body and I call forth point of light in their name. So basically, again, it's like I am an amplified receiver. And then my hands literally light up visually, if you can see it, but energetically they heat up. There's a pulsation in the center of my palms, as well as what feels like a writing utensil squiggling at a very fast rate of speed, geometric shapes, as well as, well, it just feels like so outside of time, faster than I can even conceive of, on the palms of my hands. And then I just reach my hands out, and all this, because I'm able to see auras and frequencies, etc., this light show in front of my eyes, which is breathtaking, and often tears will be running down my face because it is so moving, starts to take place, and all of this energy starts to move through and around this individual, but it's their own frequency, amplified, and like I was speaking of earlier, it's like turning on a song and playing it loudly and the person feeling moved. Well, often for the person on the table, they feel very moved. There are tears with male and female clients. There's a feeling that is undescribable for them, again, from their mental body, but from their emotional body, they feel a great sense of, and they've described it as bliss, as familiarity, and as I've said previously, coming home. That energy, and I move all around the body. It's almost like, again, an amplified flashlight with the light of love and creation, and moving all around the body from head to toe, all around all sides, and kind of a restoration and renewal all the way beginning at the chromosome cellular level and then through the layers of the body and organs of the body. I have seen individuals who have had, well, one who was having close to liver failure, and the liver completely restored itself in one session before my eyes. I've seen cancer cells completely diminish and decrease. I've seen individuals with back issues, and they were told they needed surgery, get up off the table and dance a jig. I have seen so many things that have blown my human mind, but on a soul level, I have not been surprised at all. And so what I have witnessed is point of light moving through blockages, moving through, and when I say blockages, not mental, I'm speaking physical blockages that have taken years and lifetimes to be created, that this frequency of great clarity and love, great knowing and wisdom move through those cellular forms that are either distorted or diminished, or the point of light isn't on at all, and it wakes up. it gets restored. It realigns. It becomes part of the dialogue with the rest of the cellular body. And it's a beautiful thing to see. In my own experience, I have had many point-of-light experiences. One or two stand out in particular, where I hit my hand on the corner of a table, and it was a very sharp corner. And when I looked at the top of my hand, it was in the center of the top of my hand, it just started caving in like a crater, and it started turning red and blue and green and a almost hot white. And I looked at my hand, and I felt the extreme pain. But before I could emotionally react or even chose to emotionally react, I called upon point of light in my name. And I saw the opposite occur right before my eyes. I saw the colors start to diminish, become muted, go away. I saw the swelling go away. And I saw literally, if you would call an ambulance, if you will, in your humanity, calling upon point of light internally with this corner cut that could have been, well, I had started bleeding as well. It could have been a much bigger deal. It was like internally calling upon the ambulance of my cellular body, and I saw all of this light rush to the area and start to convince it otherwise and start to transmute it. Long story short, by that late evening, there was just a tiny dot where a scab had grown within a 12-hour period. Another experience I had was I tripped over a dog gate. And when I tripped over the dog gate, it's because I was stepping over it. One leg was on the other side. As I went to lift the back leg or the other leg, it actually got caught on the gate. It didn't go with my momentum, and the leg that was on the other side of the gate gave out, and I was falling fast to the ground. And so when I fell to the ground, the leg that was behind the gate was dragged over the gate, and the front of my shin was just bleeding, and the skin was ripped, and the swelling was immediate, and the pain was very great. And I saw this, and I immediately called upon point of light. I felt my hands heat up tremendously, pulsate, so I placed my hands over the body in the area. I did not even have a bruise. The bleeding stopped, and again, within 2 days, there was a scab, and it was gone. Nothing happened. One other experience is I fell on my head. I had a very strong pain.
Cynthia, you seem to be very accident prone.
You know, what's so funny is it does indeed sound that way, but I'm sharing that over a course of months and months. I promise you this didn't all happen within 24 hours. But I did fall, and I hit my head very hard. And the pain in my head, my left lobe, upper front lobe, was so strong that I was concerned about it. Well, again, I called upon point of light. I asked the frequency, go there. And really what you're doing when you call upon point of light is you're allowing a part of you that is not involved in the trauma that you're having of that moment. And it is going to the trauma of that moment, and it is communicating with the trauma of that moment, and it is transmuting it, diluting it, it is healing it, it is doing what is needed for the trauma to not, first of all, even be fully registered, and it is transmuted, and that is indeed what happened with my head as well. And I have so many, I could write a book alone on all the experiences that I've had with point of light.
It reminds me of a child who falls, and as long as somebody is looking, they will cry their little eyes out to get as much sympathy as possible. But if nobody's looking, they just stand up, brush themselves off, and carry on. So it's almost like, yeah. Well,
what I want to say, too, about point of light is that when I recognize, which is so important as well, and it's in my second book, which I've already written and will be out shortly, is that we are coexisting within a living, breathing atmosphere, Mother Earth as well as the universe. We are not in we are let me put it differently. We are a part of an architecture of living, breathing, movement, mass, and matter that we feel is separated from who we are, but Point of Light is able to impact individuals who are right in front of me. I do Point of Light long distance in other countries. It is able to impact individuals just as intensely wherever they are, because we are a part of, and we are not separate from, this living, breathing atmosphere and environment. With Point of Light, a person experiences a cellular partnership, and all of a sudden, the concept of survival takes on the focus of what's possible when they realize that they are not alone, and they're able to begin to conceive that humanity is connected by a collaboration, not a separation. And I have to honestly say, Miriam, that saying that in words conveys something to the mental body. But for many, when you say that in words, their mind will start thinking of reasons why and how that is not true. But when Point of Light communicates without words, and it goes straight to the source, and it's amplified, it defies words. It's so much bigger than words that people understand in a much bigger way than what their mind is able to convince them of otherwise. It's a very strong sense of belonging and of peace and of restoration of the mind, body, and spirit.
Well, we certainly need more of that at this season of elections. Have you had experience of exuding or having a group experience this all together?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, more about that when we come back. We're speaking with Cynthia Slon about Point of Light. Stay with us.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Join me, Maggie Chula, on Mondays at noon Eastern for Mastermind with Maggie. Let's work together in a mastermind. We can resolve life's problems and create goals for the future. Build action steps empowering you to create your life in partnership with your divine source of light, your soul. Manifesting your goals can be simple and easy, so come with your problems and leave with a plan. The Akashic Master Teachers and I are waiting to help you.
Hi, this is Carly Simon for LifeBeat. The music industry fights AIDS. The AIDS crisis isn't over. There have been amazing scientific breakthroughs, but people are still dying, and your local AIDS organization needs your help more now than ever. Volunteer and make a difference.
Welcome back to our last segment with Cynthia Slon and talking about Point of Light. Cynthia, you said that you were working on your second book, or you had already completed writing it. Can you tell our listeners what they can expect in the first book, Point of Light, and what will be in your next book?
Absolutely. So the first book, Point of Light, Communicate with Your DNA, Change Your Life, Change the World. It's a small book that houses a universe in it, and it covers how it all began, the light frequency of love, how Point of Light revealed itself, what Point of Light offers, how it works, the language of point of light, the navigation and collaboration, self-fragmentation, engaging with point of light, and how you are your own conduit of light, and onward and so forth. So it's a small book, but it's packed with information, and I've been told by individuals that they love how small it is because they can just keep rereading it and they get more information every time. So the second book is not so small, and it goes into even greater detail individually to how how point of light is created within the womb, how it is participating within the mother and the child as it grows, how it communicates. Then it goes into not only birth, but it goes into adolescence and so on and so forth. It also addresses worldly events. It addresses, most interestingly, places upon Mother Earth where great trauma has housed a post-traumatic stress in the landmass. I'm not talking about the human consciousness, of course, that is there, but I'm talking about point of light has revealed and shown me in different places around Mother Earth how post-traumatic stress has been housed in the very cellular makeup of the landmass and the auric field in a location and place, which, by the way, causes humanity in different places to arrive or to be born there and then to feel a repetition or a chaos or a trauma and not know where it's coming from. And Point of Light has revealed how to heal that as well. Point of Light, Book 2, also talks about, which you had inquired with me prior to the break, working with groups. When groups have gathered, a Point of Light teaching is very individualistic, meaning that in a class, each individual is addressed and has an opportunity to receive Point of Light on the massage table. And then at the end, not only those present, but I invite them to bring pictures, letters, whatever they want to gather in a sacred group and to send Point of Light as a group consciousness, not only to each other, but to the names and pictures and even locations around Mother Earth. And Point of Light Book 2 covers how that works as well. It also covers how surgery and what transpires when the body is cut open to the frequency. It also covers mental illness. It just really goes in depth into physical, emotional, and mental imbalances and why they're there, how to heal them, and how to move forward. So it is, it's a very in-depth, intricate, precise reading on all of that I just mentioned.
And when will that book be out? And what will it be called?
Point of Light Book 2, and it will be out hopefully within the next 4 months.
Okay, great. Now, when people want to learn. People want to learn Point of Light, how long does it take them? How long are your workshops?
The workshops are about 8 hours long with an hour and a half for lunch. And I will be starting to set up workshops via Skype and other avenues in other parts of the world. Where groups are wanting to gather, and I can't physically be in all those places at one time. And so...
Yet.
That'll be Book 3. Point of Light is we are remembering what we already know. Anyone can do Point of Light, coming from light and love. What I have recognized is that individuals who would want to, use Point of Light in a negative way, or they don't feel self-loving enough to offer it to themselves that way. And so because I have the visual ability to see the auric field and how it's responding with Point of Light, I have witnessed individuals wanting to send themselves negativity or blocking it with negativity. And what I've seen Point of Light do is literally, it does not communicate with negativity. It's not even able to lower itself to that rate of speed. And so the individual either does not recognize what's transpired, or point of light, it stops there and remains there as an algorithm, if you will, until the individual opens up to feeling that they want to receive it and they're coming from a place of love. And so it is a frequency that is very self-knowing. It would be like Mother Nature and other aspects that around the world and in matter that work without humanity's permission and work beautifully. Point of light is a frequency that moves in its infinite wisdom and for the highest or greatest good of all the forms it moves through. And so it cannot be manipulated or affected by negativity.
In your communications, did you get any sense of why point of light has been revealed to you now?
Yes. The timeliness of it. It is not only greatly needed, but it works at the fastest rate of speed. It works at the rate of speed of light. And so it is greatly needed and affecting many individuals, affecting them in a positive way that then they are sharing it with others. And the timeliness of world events, not only Mother Nature, but it is specifically coming forth now, I think, to me and in this way, to remind everyone that they can do it themselves. So often there's a desire to look outwardly and say, you heal me, or you make a difference in my life, or you make the changes that I need. And Point of Light is about going inward and returning home, returning to a anchored place individually and collectively for Mother Nature with the animal kingdom, because I've seen, like I said previously, the frequency heal the landmass and begin all the way within Mother Earth and begin working all the way up through her layers and then affect the individuals on that landmass as well. So I really think, based on world events and what's transpiring, that there is great opportunity to replace fear with wisdom, knowing, and love.
Well, I can personally testify that I was in London studying energetic healing with Harry Oldfield, who is kind of the father of various imaging techniques, of energy imaging techniques. And I was with him when he picked up from Boots the Chemist some pictures that he had taken in the Tower of London and around Tower Hill on his camera with a special filter, and they were developed at the chemist shop. So I was with him when he picked them up from the chemist shop, so they couldn't have been manipulated in any way. And as we looked through them, there was one picture of the Tower Hill, which is just a grassy hill right at the entrance to the tube station, but it was also the hill upon which people were hung by their neck until that, a hangman's gibbet. And you can see the outline of the hangman's gibbet on that film. I was absolutely gobsmacked. So what you're saying about the earth holding these energies is absolutely true.
It is true, absolutely. And the even greater, I think, knowing to that is the ability to heal those places and to free that landmass and even any souls that are still there experiencing that. And so, we have a far-reaching capacity to impact ourselves and our lives, our future lives, our past, present lives. And I have seen Point of Light affect the environment, plants, animals, homes. I've had individuals that have been, one client, she was being stalked and threatened by her neighbor in a very violent manner. She asked that I send point of light to that soul. It was a very interesting experience because I didn't have that soul's permission on a conscious human level. But when I spoke to that soul, the soul of that being, that soul said, yes, please free me from this experience that is holding me hostage. And so I sent point of light to that individual, and the very next day, that individual wrote an apology letter that she received on her door anonymously. And so,
that's amazing. Well, yes, Cynthia, we're coming up to the end of the show, and I want to remind people of the name of the book, Point of Light, Communicate with Your DNA, Change Your Life, Change the World. And keep an eye out for the next book, Point of Light 2. And Cynthia's website is cynthiaslon9.com. That's Cynthia, Cynthia, Slon, Slon, 9.com. So, Cynthia, one last word for our listeners.
Yes, one last word is, you are what you have been waiting for, and Point of Light will get you there.
You heard it from the Oracle's mouth. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Miriam Knight. Do visit our website at ncreview.com and join us next week. Until then, have a blessed week. Goodbye.